Hello, I'm Tom Bailey, and in today's episode, I'll be getting to know Bruce Frame, who's an entrepreneur, author, and business coach, and has now worked with over 350 businesses as diverse as hairdressers, winemakers, and even a funeral director. So, Bruce, hello, and a very warm welcome to today's episode.
Hello, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Perfect. Thanks for being here. And whereabouts are you based right now?
In Melbourne, Victoria, in Australia.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And I just want to share a little bit more about you before we do get started. So, Bruce began his working life as an electrician, and he rose to the position of general manager and director of a major automotive manufacturer. He started his coaching business in 2003, and he now works with coaches from all over the world. The title for today's episode is The 6 P's You Must Consider Before Engaging a Business Coach, and Bruce is going to talk us through that in just 7 minutes. So, question number 1 for you today is, who are your ideal clients?
Okay, thanks for that. My ideal clients have been in business for at least 3 years, but probably not more than 7. So they've got the basics down, they know what they're doing, but they need to develop systems and strategies to manage their people and make profits in order to make their businesses work when they're not there, without a daily direct hands-on involvement.
Got it. Perfect. And obviously you've worked with over 350 businesses now. What's typically the biggest challenge that you find they face?
Okay, this is a really good one. This is the classic challenge that great technicians find when they own their own business, and that is that their expertise in their field, which is the thing that got them into the business in the first place, whether they started it from scratch or they bought it as a going concern, they did so because they know something about what the business does.
Yeah.
But in many ways, that is their biggest problem, because they now need to learn a completely new set of skills that has to do with how to make a business work regardless of what the business does. So in many ways, we're taking people who are technically brilliant, that is, they get more interested in more detail and more accuracy and more internal workings, and turn them into people who are external thinking, looking at the big picture and trying to see the future. And so we're asking technically brilliant people to make a 180-degree turn.
Okay, so that's clearly a big shift to do that 180-degree shift. So I guess what is the biggest impact on them or their business if they don't solve this problem?
Okay, so what they're going to have is frustration in a lack of time and a lack of money, and that's the worst case. Having no time and lots of money doesn't work, but having lots of money and no time doesn't work either. So we, in business as owners, we need time and money. So if you don't have both, you're going to have frustration. That leads to poor decision making. You're going to have a high labour turnover, and that ends up with broken businesses, broken owners, broken marriages, and broken lives. That's the outcome of not getting it right.
Yeah. So it can be a huge detrimental impact. So what is the one valuable piece of advice that you'd give to somebody to really help them get started in solving this problem?
That's where I'd really like to talk about the 6 P's that you need to ask of a business coach.
Right.
And my 6 P's are personal. I only work one-on-one with business owners, so I don't work with groups or teams or executives. I work with owners. And so you've got to ask yourself, does this person understand what I do? Yeah. Second is professional. Tom, you said earlier, I've had about 350 clients in the last 20 years. When I started coaching, I used to spend the first 2 hours trying to explain what a coach did. Now I have to explain why I'm different to other coaches. Experience is one of them. Passionate. Everyone who knows me and works with me say to me, you really do love this stuff, don't you? And the truth is I do. I love it. I love changing the way people think in order to give them a better outcome in their business and their lives. Pragmatic is the next P, and that is I'm looking for a solution that works, provided it is reasonably legal, moral and ethical. I'm okay with it. I'm not the tax department. I don't need to get involved in whether it's right or wrong. I need to get involved in, does it work or does it not work? And so that's the 4th P. The 5th P is persistent. I will not give up while my client is moving. While they are moving, even if they're moving in the wrong direction, I won't give up. It's when they stop that it becomes very frustrating. frustrating. And the last piece, profitable. Profit's not a dirty word. If we don't make profit, there's no point being in business. So everything we do in business has to make a profit, and that has to be the mindset. And so I'd say, start how you intend to continue. Get good advice before you start or buy your business from someone who knows what they're doing, and think about those 6 P's.
Fantastic. Great advice there. And what is finally one valuable resource that you can share with people to help them get started?
I would say DISC behavioural profiling. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Yep, I am.
Dominance, dominance, influence, support, and compliance. It's available free. You can get it online. But understanding your own behavioural profile and how various identities interact with that profile will change the way you behave with other people. It will improve your ability to sell, it'll improve your ability to recruit, it'll improve your ability to manage, it'll improve your relationships, it'll improve your life. DISC is something that I use with all of my clients, and I highly recommend it.
Excellent. Thanks, Bruce. And I'm just going to post a link into the show notes as well for this show for your process. And that is bruceframe.com.au/my process. And what I'll do is I'll also post a link in there for the DISC profiling as well.
That'd be great.
Perfect. Thank you. So a quick question for you now is, what would you say is one of your greatest either failures or mistakes that you've ever made either in life or business? And what did you learn from it?
Okay, so thinking about this one really honestly, the biggest challenge, I think, I mean, everyone in business is making mistakes. If you're not making mistakes, you're not doing anything. So I think the biggest mistake I made through my business life was expecting honesty and integrity to be at the same level or higher than my own. And I was continuously disappointed until I got to the idea that I need to be more guarded in dealings with people in general, and allowing them to demonstrate their own standards before committing to anything ongoing. And that has slowed me down, and it's been a frustrating learning lesson. But you know, life gives us lessons, and we either learn the lessons and move on to a new lesson, or we don't learn the lesson, we get the same lesson again. So yeah, it takes a while, but it's worth doing.
Exactly. Completely agree. Perfect. Thank you so much. And the last question from me today is, what is the one question that I should have asked you that will also bring some great value to our audience?
The one I would like you to have asked is, what is the secret to recruiting good people? Because I get this all the time. I get people saying to me, if you could just help me to find good people. And I'm forced to quote my father, who said, you get the people you deserve. And I think that's absolutely true. But once you have recruited someone, I think it's all about how you onboard them. Yes. And I have a process I call 7-4-11. 7 days, 4 weeks, 11 weeks, which I'm happy to share, and I'm happy to send it to you, Tom, to do with as you see fit. But absolutely. It's a little confrontational, but it produces a fabulous outcome. And all of my clients who use it, and most of them do, swear by it, would never go back from it. So the reason they use it, even though it's confrontational and it can be quite difficult, is because it works.
Yes.
And so highly recommend it.
Perfect. Yeah, 7-4-11. If you can send that over, that'll be much appreciated.
I'll send it through today.
Fantastic, Bruce. Thank you so much again for your time today and for sharing such great expertise and value with that audience.
Thanks, Tom. I really enjoyed it.